tonight we're delighted to bring you Latinx voices from the northern coast of San Mateo County as part of our Equity Through Art webinar series that's been in partnership with county libraries, county health, behavioral health, and the Chief Equity Officer through the County Manager's Office. So now I'd like to introduce the lovely features of tonight. We're going to hear from Dr. Belinda Hernandez-Arriaga first. She's Executive Director of ALAS. And then we're going to be hearing from Patty Ramirez, Diego Lopez, and then we have, last but not least, Joaquin Jimenez, another leader. So all these leaders on the coast. So as you know, the Equity Through Art series is really focused on bringing the voices of people of color in San Mateo County, their experiences and history in the county to a larger audience. And we're delighted to have these wonderful guests with us tonight. At this point, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Belinda Hernandez-Arriaga to begin to share her story, and she'll also be sharing a video with us too. Thank you for being here with us, Belinda.
Thank you so much, Shireen, and to everyone, to San Mateo County. It's truly a privilege to be here with you all tonight as we talk about our community on the coast, particularly our Latino community, and all the beauty that it holds, the strength, the cultural wealth, and the hard work that they have contributed and to make our coastside such a special place. And not too long ago, we decided to be able to tell our story of ALAS through a photograph exhibit that we were invited to be a part of. We took the time to put together, I don't know how many images, much more than what the video shows, but of photos that we had taken throughout the year of our community and just the work on the ground and capturing just the strength of who they were and who they are. And so we're going to start tonight as we kick off this presentation through the eyes of ALAS, is to just share a snapshot of what we see in all the beauty and strength of our community each and every day, and through some of the photos that you'll see here of the video. So if we can start that now, I want to give a huge shout out to Silicon Valley Latino that helped us capture the photo images video and make this video, and Lee Gray Diamond that also helped us curate our photo exhibit, which was a really special event for us. So here we go.
Through the Eyes of ALAS, a photographic exhibition that tells the story of our community that we have been able to capture through the years. Thank you to everyone that made this possible and to all those that are represented in this special exhibition that is a small part of our bigger work.
Antonio Aguilar. Tengo 22 años trabajando en el mismo rancho. Me gusta regar los campos y estar con mis compañeros. I have 22 years working the same farm. I like to water the fields and be with my friends.
17 hombres, 5 galones de agua. 17 men, 5 gallons of water.
Yesenia García. Vivo en un lugar pacífico, en un rancho donde está mi trabajo y me encanta hacer de todo. Desde sembrar hasta cosechar bruzuelas, chícharos, haba y alcachofas. I live in a peaceful place, on a ranch where my work is, and I love to do everything, from planting, harvesting, Brussels sprouts, peas, beans, and artichokes.
Lo que llevan, what they carry.
Félix Torres. Hace frío trabajando en el campo. Es difícil temprano en la mañana y por la tarde. It is cold working in the fields. It is difficult early in the morning and evenings.
Venga lluvia o brillo, come rain or shine. Farmworkers bicycles.
Carlos Acosta. He estado trabajando en Half Moon Bay por 40 años y antes de ALAS nadie me ofreció ni siquiera una soda. I have been working in Half Moon Bay for 40 years, and before Alas, no one ever even offered me a soda.
El jarabe tapatío, donan sin.
Ramón Sonoki, si trabajo, comemos. Si no trabajo, no comemos. If I work, we eat. If I don't work, we don't eat.
Amor, cultura, poder. Love, culture, power.
Serafín Ávila, podría hacer otro trabajo y ganar más dinero, pero mi vocación es la agricultura, es mi herencia. I could do other work and make more money, but my calling is farming, is my heritage.
Yanira Serrano. El olor embriagador del copal y la energía de las plumas nos transporta a un lugar donde podemos comenzar a sanar a través del alma de nuestros antepasados. The intoxicating smell of copal and the energy of the feathers transport us to a place where we can begin to heal through the soul of our ancestors. La fe, faith.
Rocío Ávila, me gusta estar en el campo para que nuestros hijos vean y aprendan de dónde viene la comida. I like to be in the fields so our children can see and learn where food comes from.
Warriors Halftime Game. Alas Mariachi Media Luna, February 2020. Felicidad, happiness.
This photograph means a great deal to us at Alas. It is a photograph of Dr. Belinda Hernandez-Arriaga, the founder and director of Alas and the heart and soul. I believe when you look at this photograph, you can see the love, the kindness, and the compassion of Alas.
Somos uno. We are one.
Thank you, everyone. And today's talk is really grounded on the idea of telling the story of our Latinx community here on the coast side. We are, sharing today a little bit about Alas, but really when people ask me or share about what makes Alas or, how are we Alas, the interesting thing that we're always so excited and proud of is a reality that Alas is a community, and the community built Alas. The community has created Alas. And it's our coastside Latinx, Latino, immigrant community, all of the above, that has made the coastside such a rich fabric, a place that is home and a place that community comes together. But it's also done with a lot of struggle, with a lot of orgullo, which is pride, with a lot of love, and with a lot of faith, which are all values that our community carries. And so today, my hope is that you will get to have a better glimpse into the heroes of our community, the sheroes of our community, which means that they're the voices that in many ways are invisible. They're the voices and the stories that oftentimes don't get told in the literature books, don't get the accolades that they should, because they're everyday people making extraordinary contributions. They're community that are the real professors of who we should really be learning from. And for many years, our community was invisible. And in many ways, we were visible in tourism, visible in the work that we do in the fields, visible in, the restaurants where we are able to work to provide the beautiful dinners and lunches that people flock to the coast to, visible in the flowers that you have at your table, visible in the teachers that teach the little ones and are raising children, visible in the arts in our youth that are succeeding and thriving, but in many ways invisible in spaces that acknowledge their strengths that acknowledge their cultural wealth and that acknowledge their leadership. And today, that is a story that we want to capture through the leaders of Patty Ramirez, who tells the story of the immigrant journey of her family and so many here, through Diego Lopez, who is a first-generation college student. We're so proud to see him launch into USF and represent all of us. And through Joaquin Jimenez, who is leading an effort to make our farm worker community visible, and most importantly, to feel loved and cared for. So today, this is a story through our eyes, and we are so grateful for all of you to be here.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Belinda. I just couldn't help. I was about to chat one of the other panelists just how boss you are. I don't know if that's an appropriate verb, but with this gorgeous background and founding this amazing organization that is just so critical and lifting up the voices of the community and creating the sense of belonging is just, it's so unique and it's so much needed for so many of our communities. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Patty Ramirez. She is a longtime resident of the Northern Coast, and she's going to share with us some of the stories of her family's migration onto the coast. Patty, welcome. Thank you for being with us today.
Primero, quiero agradecer la invitación que me hicieron para poder dar testimonio, especialmente del bisabuelo de mis hijos y abuelo de mi esposo Alfonso Ramírez. Su abuelo, pero primero voy a continuar con un pensamiento. Doctora Belinda, ¿va a traducir o le continúo?
Comadre Patty, abajo están pudiendo hacer interpretación, so usted puede seguir.
Ok. Los inmigrantes no pueden escapar de su historia, mas sí pueden enriquecer su entorno, porque todas las grandes culturas surgieron a partir de formas de mestizaje. Y como les decía, el abuelo de mi esposo fue uno de los primeros en llegar a estas tierras de Pescadero y Half Moon Bay en los años 50 con el programa Bracero. El señor Prudencio Rivera venía acompañado del señor Francisco Rivas Solís, quienes fueron los primeros en arribar a estas tierras de la costa oeste del norte de California. Ellos, al llegar a las áreas de Half Moon Bay y Pescadero, se dedicaron a la pizca de chícharo y corte de flor como tulipán, violeta y otras flores en estas áreas. Ellos vivían y trabajaban para la familia italiana Garibaldi, en lo que ahora es conocido como el Rancho Cabrillo Farms. En el área de Pescadero también, lo que viene siendo el rancho conocido como Año Nuevo, ya que la familia Garibaldi eran dueños de varias tierras en esta área. Después el señor Prudencio emigró con su esposa Antonia Solís por un par de años. Después, en los años de 1960, comenzaron a emigrar más personas de la comunidad de Camichines del estado de Jalisco. Siendo el señor Prudencio Rivera y el señor Francisco Rivas residentes de Camichines, esto empujó a que esa área de Camichines en el estado de Jalisco trajera más inmigrantes con el programa Bracero. Y con ellos, en esa ocasión, se vino el señor Francisco Contreras de San Pablo, siendo este el papá del señor Jesús Contreras, que hoy él es un campesino actual de nuestra comunidad y que es conocido en el rancho de las Flores Secas, que está para el área de Montara. This is my husband's grandparent. And my children, great parents, And those were the first ones to arrive here to Half Moon Bay. Also with another person, his name was Francisco Rivas Solis. And the third person who comes with them, it was Francisco Contreras from San Paulo of the state of Jalisco in Mexico. And they arrived around the 50s in the program Bracero. I don't know how to say Bracero. And their family were working for the Garibaldi. That is an Italian family who has a ranch. That right now the ranch is this picture it was taken on those ranches. It was the Cabrillo Farms by Highway 1, and right now they were working on those ranches are named Pescadero. Right now, the name right now it is Año Nuevo, and that's what I said. This is briefly what I said first, and when I've been looking through the census, see how many Hispanics were on the 50s, I didn't find anyone. It was no one.
Wow.
In the 60s, they start writing on the numbers, but it was just few. But it was just on the 50s. And right now, I'm gonna say this in Spanish. Ahora las personas que migran a Half Moon Bay vienen de diferentes estados de México. Right now, all the people who migrate to here to Half Moon Bay comes from different states of Mexico, like Oaxaca, like Michoacán, and many others. Also, they are coming more from Centro America, like Honduras, Guatemala, and Salvador. And also we have here families from Venezuela and Peru. That means South America. La travesía que todos hemos hecho es dura y es difícil. A veces hay días que no comen, hay días que pasan encerrados con frío, esperando que alguien más pueda comunicarse con ellos para brindarles algo de calor humano. Nuestra riqueza ha sido embellecer esta gran comunidad con nuestra cultura y folclore. El valor de la familia y su unidad, la gastronomía auténtica y diversa que hemos compartido y lo hemos recreado. La música hispana la hemos inmerso con nuestras notas de alegría y gran relevancia a nuestros lugares de origen. I'm talking about the riches, our culture and our folklore that our family brings to this area, and also the values. The family is one of the values, and the food, the gastronomy of the food, and also that we are recreated with another I'm gonna say the species from here from the United States. Algo muy único e importante para nuestra comunidad hispana es el calor humano. Something that is very important for us as a Hispanic is the, I don't know how to say calor humano.
The human, like the human connection, the human care, what is important for us as Hispanics, as Latinos, is the human connection, the human care.
Thank you, doctora Belinda. Que lo manifiesta en el contacto físico. That means manifest with the physical contact as a hug, as a kiss. El espacio personal que tiende a ser más cercano. That means the space that comes to get together. La apariencia es extremadamente importante para los latinos. We have to be, if we are going to be in a party, we like to dress up. And los hispanos somos más espirituales en todos nuestros ámbitos de naturaleza, cultura y religión. As Hispanic, we are so spiritually in nature, culture, and religion. Our houses, most of the times, are full of color, and most looks like a party, and like tenemos el calor de hogar, el calor humano de los hispanos.
Like we have like a really warm home because of family and what we like.
Gracias. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. That was so beautiful. And I am ashamed we couldn't all fully be able to hear the full essence of that story. And we'll continue to work on the interpretation. Thank you so much for being here with us here and sharing the stories. It is really amazing how far back your family goes, being out here, and really what a history lesson this is for all of us about the migration to the coast. We have so much to learn about our own county. Thank you for being here to share with us. At this point, I'm going to turn it over to Diego Lopez to share his experiences as a first-generation Latinx youth living on the coast. Ryan, can you hear us okay?
Yes. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you great.
Okay. My name is Ryan Lopez, and I am a proud first-generation college attendee. I'm the oldest of 4 children, and I plan to inspire my younger siblings to achieve a higher education. For the past few years, I have wanted to become an attorney specializing in immigration, technology, and/or finance. My whole life, I have wanted to help people, and as I got older, I witnessed how many people have been put at a disadvantage due to their lack of understanding of the law, combined with the prejudice faced from other people. It was at this point in my life that I realized that I wanted to gain an abundant understanding of the law so I could educate others and fight for those who can't fight for themselves. Becoming an attorney would enable me to become a pillar of equality and of social justice within my community, as well as allowing me to help others become the same. I believe that we are living in a time during which it is important to care for others as one with themselves. As it currently stands, I am a first-year student at USF, and my current major is politics, and I have a concentration in pre-law. It is my second semester, and so far I have enjoyed my time at campus because, in a way, it is the fruit of my hard labor leading up to this point. Throughout my whole academic career, starting from elementary school all the way up to high school, I worked hard. And my parents worked just as hard, if not harder, to help me achieve my goal of wanting to gain a higher education. They knew from an early age that I wanted to become an attorney. And now that I have finally accomplished that goal, I plan to keep on striving and achieve prosperity, not only for myself, but for those around me. Mi nombre es Ryan Lopez. Yo soy un estudiante de primera generación universitario y soy el mayor de 4 niños. Es mi plan para inspirar a que mis hermanitos y los jóvenes de nuestra comunidad también vayan a la universidad. Por estos años pasados he querido ser un abogado especializando en migración, tecnología y finanzas. Toda mi vida he querido yo ayudar a la gente, Y ya que estoy un poquito más grande, yo he visto las injusticias que la gente recibe por no saber la ley. Cuando yo vi estas injusticias, decidí que tuve que hacer yo de mi parte, no nomás recibir una educación más grande, pero sino para compartir esa misma educación con la gente de nuestra comunidad. Siendo un abogado, me ayudará a educar a la gente que no sabe la ley y también para luchar por su parte en la corte. Yo creo que estamos viviendo durante un tiempo en que es importante para cuidar a otros como nosotros hacíamos para nosotros mismos. Ahorita yo estoy yendo a la Universidad de San Francisco y soy un estudiante de primer año. Estoy en mi segundo semestre y he disfrutado mi tiempo en la universidad porque por una parte es como la fruta de mi labor, no mía y de mis papás. Toda la vida me la he estudiado muchísimo para llegar a este punto. Y ya que estoy aquí en la universidad a punto de empezar mi segundo semestre, podría yo dar la ayuda que me han dado mis papás y también a mi comunidad. Y pues estoy muy agradecido de estar aquí y pues ya que cumplí yo mi meta, he hecho, creo que es importante para que yo siga estar motivado, no más por mí mismo, pero también motivar a la gente de mi comunidad, a los jóvenes, porque veo que ahorita hay muchos jóvenes que pues necesitan a alguien para que les enseñe la importancia de la educación. Y pues es mi meta para yo enseñarles esa misma luz, para abrirles esa puerta, para que ellos también puedan cumplir lo mismo y puedan encontrar una carrera exitosa, no más por ellos, pero también por sus familias. Gracias.
Thank you so much, Diego, Ryan. Really appreciate the story, and it's very much something that feels close to my heart as an immigrant to the United States, with my family and how hard they worked and how you feel about going to school and pushing hard. And after, just the day, learning English, and now look where you are. It's that kind of feeling, and it's very familiar to me. So congratulations. And I have to tell you, stories like yours give me goosebumps, because I just look at you and I think about the potential future of our county with leaders like yourself stepping in to take leadership and help lead our county towards equity. So thank you for sharing your story. At this point, I'm going to turn it over to Joaquin Jimenez. He's going to be sharing his story as a farm worker on the coast, as well as so many other things that he is along the coast, from being a part of ALAS, as well as city council, and numerous other leadership roles that he plays. So with that, Joaquin, welcome. Thank you for being with us here today.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation. Mi nombre es Joaquin Jimenez. My name is Joaquin Jimenez. I was born in Mexico. I came to the United States when I was very young, at the age of about 13. I come from a family of farm workers and farmers. Both my parents are retired farm workers from the coast of Half Moon Bay. Both my grandparents, together with my father, migrated to the United States in the early 60s to work in the farms in California, in the state of California, in different areas. In 79, both my parents came to Half Moon Bay and settled here. They both migrated to Half Moon Bay to work at the Nursery Men's Exchange, a company that is no longer in our community. During the 80s, late 80s, my parents decided to bring us to the United States. My siblings and I, migrated to Half Moon Bay. And here in Half Moon Bay, we did our education. I did a high school, went to college, and came back to work in our community. My siblings as well. It's 4 of us. I'm the oldest of 4 siblings. 3 of us have a college education, and one of my brothers owns his own company in town. The work that I do with ALAS in our community, I don't see it as work. The advocacy that we do in ALAS or outreach is not a 9-to-5 job. The work that we do is more 24/7. We are always on the phone. That's what advocacy is about. I've had, throughout the years, I've been with different organizations. I worked with the school district. And even when I was a teacher, I was still advocating for my community and organizing my community in Half Moon Bay. Later on, when I went to work for the San Mateo County Probation Department, I continued to do advocacy, for my community and organize my community. Now my work with ALAS, the work that I do with farm workers, when I work with farm workers, I see family, I see familia. Like I mentioned, I come from a long line of farmers and farm workers. My father, at the age of 81, still farms in Mexico. He continues to farm sugarcane. So it's a long line of farming. Both my grandparents also farm. My connection to the Half Moon Bay community, to the Coastal community, goes deep. And that's what advocacy is about. Equity doesn't sleep. As we see in ALAS, we don't sleep. We are there for the community when they need us. So, the work has taken us to our community in a sense of we feel the love of our community. As you saw in some of the pictures, one of the comments that came from one of the farm workers, in 40 years working as a farm worker, he did not receive, many services. He actually said, in 40 years, I never received even a soda, a soft drink from anybody. It is difficult to understand that for many years, our farm workers were actually ignored. Many of them stayed in the shadows. And now we are being able to recognize them for the labor that they do. We give them opportunities. We bring advocacy for them. We bring resources for them. The work that we do is not from behind a desk. It is not often that you see a person with a PhD, director of an organization like ALAS, that walks in the mud to go see farm workers. Doctora Belinda Hernandez-Arriaga, she does that. She walks through the mud to visit the farm workers, make sure they're well taken care of, make sure they're healthy, make sure they have what they need. And not what they need to live, what they need to survive. Because that's what our farm workers are doing. The farm workers, not only in San Mateo County, not only in San Mateo Coast, they work to survive. The wages that they have, if you see across the nation, the average wage for farm workers, it's $7.25 an hour. In San Mateo County, the average wage is for farm workers is $12 an hour. When you do the math, it doesn't add up. How can you live with $12 an hour in San Mateo County? San Mateo County has a poverty level of $120,000 per household. 2 parents that work with 2 children. Farm workers in the coast per household, they make it in a year with an average of $30,000 a year. So the advocacy that we do in ALAS goes beyond what pretty much, the need of the community, the need of the farm workers. We help them, providing mental health for them, providing a conversation for them, learning from them, to give us the opportunity to help them to be successful. The advocacy that we do, we're trying to push it as far as we can. We have initiatives for a farm worker community. ALAS has break the mold of a nonprofit organization. ALAS has broken the mold. I've heard from many people that have said, ALAS has raised the bar. The advocacy that we do is in the streets, in the farms, in the homes of our farm workers, in the school districts, now in San Mateo County. As of 2020, they have learned that we have about 1,500 farm workers that for many years were forgotten about. And thanks to ALAS, now they know and understand the need of our community. We just share a little bit of what we do. Many of you are welcome to join us on what we do. Many of you have programs like our Farm Worker Fridays, that we collaborate with other organizations, other groups, community members, to bring lunch for farm workers. Mental health programs, where we have our clinicians visit the families at the farms. The art programs that we do painting through Zoom. So the advocacy of what we do is the love that we have for the people. Ahora el español. Mi nombre es Joaquin Jimenez. Nací en México. Vengo de padres campesinos, de abuelos campesinos, que emigraron a Estados Unidos en los 60s. Mis padres migraron a Half Moon Bay en el 79 a trabajar en una de las nurserías aquí en Half Moon Bay, que ya no existe. Al final de los 80s nos trajeron a sus hijos, yo siendo el mayor, a vivir a Half Moon Bay. Ingresamos a las escuelas, el sitio escolar aquí en Half Moon Bay. Yo cumplí mi graduación de preparatoria, me retiré de la universidad, regresé a trabajar a la comunidad. 3 de 4 hermanos tenemos carrera de universidad. Uno de mis hermanos tiene su propia compañía aquí en Half Moon Bay. He trabajado en varias áreas, con varios grupos, varias organizaciones. Como maestro aquí en Half Moon Bay, durante esos años también estuve organizando la comunidad de Half Moon Bay, abogacía por la comunidad. Aún cuando me fui a trabajar al condado de San Mateo, al departamento de probación de jóvenes, continué con mi organización y mi abogacía por la comunidad latina aquí en Half Moon Bay, con los campesinos. Y ahora con ALAS hago el trabajo Cuando visito los campos, pienso en mi familia. Porque mi padre, a la edad de 81 años, aún continúa cultivando la tierra en México. Mis abuelos, mis padres, mis tíos, campesinos y agricultores. La organización de Alas ofrece los servicios a la comunidad, la abogacía. Nuestro trabajo no es un trabajo de 9 a 5. Nuestro trabajo es de 24 horas al día, 7 días a la semana. El trabajo de abogacía es estar presente cualquier hora del día para contestar una pregunta, para ayudar en caso de emergencia. No es seguido cuando uno tiene la oportunidad de ver que una persona con un doctorado, directora de una organización que es la organización de Alas, la doctora Belinda Hernandez-Arriaga, que camine por el lodo para visitar a los campesinos. No es algo que se ve seguido. Yo no lo he visto. Más que con Belinda, que le digo, doctora Belinda, con mucho respeto. Nuestro trabajo de abogacía se presenta en varias formas, dando las oportunidades, llevando recursos a nuestros campesinos que han sido olvidados por mucho tiempo. El promedio de ingresos de un campesino en Estados Unidos es de $7.25 la hora. En el condado de San Mateo, el ingreso de un campesino es de $12 la hora en promedio. En el condado de San Mateo vivimos en un nivel de pobreza de $120,000 al año en una familia de 4, donde trabajan los padres con 2 hijos. Los campesinos viven con un promedio de $30,000 por año. 2 padres, 2 hijos. Los campesinos sobreviven, no viven. ¿Cómo puedes vivir con $30,000 al año? Organizaciones como Alas, que ha quebrado el molde de una organización que ha arrampujado el límite para abogar por nuestra comunidad que está en necesidad, que lleva los recursos hacia la puerta en varias formas. Tenemos nuestros terapistas que visitan los ranchos para ofrecer apoyo a los padres, a los hijos. Tenemos programas de arte por medio de Zoom que participan. Y la abogacía que nunca falta. Alas ha quebrado el molde de lo que es una organización para trabajar con nuestra comunidad. El trabajo de Alas va más allá de lo que uno pueda pensar. Mucho trabajo que hacemos no se ve, no se conoce, porque no queremos ser reconocidos por cada paso que damos. Hacemos lo que hacemos por nuestra comunidad, sin buscar el reconocimiento por lo que hacemos. Somos Alas. Gracias.
Thank you, Joaquin. That was beautiful. And in so much of what all of you really said, it just makes me think that while there's this discussion of how unique and amazing Alas is, it really is because you all make up Alas, and not just all of you, but the community that makes it up. And that this is a description really of the fact that there's such a beautiful sense of community and belonging that's wrapped around the space. I just couldn't help write down throughout the discussions that there was so much about history, about culture, about love, about family, about migration, remigration, about movement, that there was the stories that we tell are not stagnant, that they're history sometimes repeating themselves, that they're about the strength that all of you bring into those stories that you're sharing, and that each of you and each of the stories you share are stories that are the stories of so many. One thing I was struck by, and I do want to encourage everyone to put in any questions that you have into the Q&A. Right now, we have a wonderful statement about how the stories are just so powerful. And really, that's what I'm speaking to. So if you have any questions in the audience, please share them. But as I was reflecting, was thinking about the notion of what it means to belong. So many of the families that have been here for so many years and generations, and yet not always seen as belonging. And how that is something that had to be created and intentionally built. And how oftentimes our cultures and our colors of our skin and the things that we celebrate that differentiate us, no matter how long that we can be in a place, people will see us as outsiders. And we have to create our own communities and our own sense of belonging and strengths. And that's what you all have done. Thinking about that concept, I'm curious to ask if any of you, what gives you strength in San Mateo County? What gives you the strength you need to strive the way that you do, to serve the way that you do, to connect and bring that humanity into your work?
You said it. We connect because we see everybody as one. We have a one of the staff from Alas. He always says this: one heart, one world. That's how we are connected. Mm. Through our connection is for what we do. We know our community knows us. We listen, they listen. We have created a conversation that helps us do what we do. It's pure love, pure connection, one world.
Beautiful.
And also, I want to just add that we are relentless to fight for justice and advocacy, which means we won't stop till we have the opportunity to tell the stories and have voices heard. And that's really what's got us where we are today, because for the longest time, we were silenced, we were invisible, and we want to push those voices, those stories to the front lines. And we do advocate, and we're not scared to do that. We're not scared to stand up, and we're not scared to make the statement that need to be made, because if we never take the stance, then no one, I mean, we all need to, the voices need to be heard, the stories need to be told. And that's part of our passion in the platform on the other side that we have to do.
That gives you the strength and the resilience. We have a couple questions. What does Alice work with other farm worker organizing, advocacy organizations? And what can we do? What can those in the audience do?
Alice is one of the co-founders of the Farm Worker Affairs Coalition of San Mateo County. We collaborate with other organizations in the county and out of the county. We are part of different commissions and coalitions throughout the state. We are members of Food for Justice. We are members of different organizations that provide advocacy for farm workers in our community. We are always striving to how can we support our farm workers to be successful. This comes from farm workers saying, thank you for the gifts, but help us be successful. Success comes in many forms. Education, knowledge is one of them. Opportunity, and that's what ALAS is creating. That's what ALAS is giving. Education, knowledge, opportunity. And we don't give a voice to the farm workers. They have a voice. What we do, we amplify their voice. One thing you can do is amplify the voice of the farm workers. Amplify the voice of the people in need. Don't give them a voice. They have a voice. Amplify.
And what plans do you have for 2022? Are there any key priorities you want to share with us about how to make sure the Latinx priorities on the Northern Coast are lifted up?
I think part of what needs to happen is continue working with this, with our youth. We're very proud to see Diego Ryan moving forward and so many others. We have hopes that we can continue to push youth forward with education, and we need a lot of tutoring. We have to think about the impact of the pandemic and how it hurt so many because of the access to Wi-Fi, to technology. We're trying to create a technology center. We've even had a challenge with that, but it's something that needs to happen. We need to build equity in tech and STEM and education. We also, if anyone can continue to be advocating for housing as it is across the Bay, but families are losing housing. Our farm worker community needs housing. Our essential workers need housing, and that's one of the biggest issues. And so for this year, we're really trying to infuse support for basic needs that our essential farm worker, hardworking community is suffering so much during COVID. The cost of inflation has gone up. We're trying to save a food pantry that we started 2 years ago when COVID kicked off, and we feed 200 families plus every Saturday, plus then another 100 or so during the week that come by. And this wasn't part of the ALAS program, but we rose to that occasion, and now we're seeing that more than ever, we need more food for them. We need, to be able to keep that food pantry going. So we're looking for resources and for support. So if anybody has ideas around that, that's definitely a key priority, to be able to provide basic needs for our community.
Thank you, Belinda. Really appreciate all of you being here. Thank you, Patty. Thank you, Diego, Ryan. Thank you, Joaquin. I also want to really appreciate all of you repeating yourselves both in Spanish and English, given our interpretation challenges. We're going to look into seeing if there's some if there's any transcripts we can offer for the video, since a lot of the viewing will be via video. And thank you to all of you who joined us for this event to really hear the voices of Latinx community on the northern coast of San Mateo County, to make sure that all of the stories and cultures that often are not part of the dominant narrative of who San Mateo County is are lifted up, are shared directly from our communities, and make it into the tapestry of who San Mateo County is. At the core, we're a 64% community of color. We've been a majority people of color county for over 2 decades. And it's we need more and more of the Belindas, Joaquins, Pattys, and Diego Ryans of the world to share the stories of who San Mateo County really is. We thank you for all being with us here today. The library has a page that we'd like to share to rate this event, so you can let us know your thoughts on it. It's at smcl.org/rate this event. I'm not sure if Nicole or someone can put that into the chat, because I know I can never follow those types of instructions. But thank you all for being here with us. We will continue to bring you stories like the ones that we have here today through the Equity Through Art series in our partnership with the Library County Health BHRS program as well. Have a wonderful night, everyone. Deep appreciation for all of you. Bye-bye.